Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Let's Talk About It, where we keep it real. Here today with my girl April Bailey and Keisha Bailey, myself. And hello, everybody. Hey, April, how you doing, girl?
Doing good, Key. How are you? Feeling better?
I'm feeling much better. When I say these sinuses took me to another level, oh my goodness! But by the grace of God, I'm feeling much better now. Thank you so much. Today's
Oh,
topic.
yes, sir.
Thank you, and thanks for asking. I want to today's topic. Well, you know what I'm going to always say. Today's topic, but you know us, and that's the name of the show. Let's talk about it because we could be like a little bit all over the place. But I want to. So I'm going to say I want to begin with. If you're dating over 2 years, do you think that you should be asked the word, the marriage, to be, proposed to, or do you think you should end it if the person is not ready to take that next step? Or if you're in your 50s, as per se, myself and you, if you don't mind, if we're dating over 2 years, what are we looking for? So we're gonna start with you. So if you're dating, say you run into a nice Muslim guy at the mosque, and you know he's good, you good, and y'all doing y'all little Muslim dating, and it's going over 2 years now. Now you're looking for marriage, if you are, but he's not. How would you go about this?
Okay.
First of
So
all,
I'm
what
about
would
to.
we look
Well, first of all, in Islam, we do things a lot differently. So I'm about to like really blow your mind here. So
okay?
we do things really quite differently than a lot of people. So even if we're going to date, we have to date with a mahram, which is a protector, which is my brother or my father has to be around while we're having this dating. But the first thing we do is we negotiate on,
Right?
right. So the first thing we kind of do is we negotiate on, this guy sees me, I see him, we like each other. Okay. So then after that, what happens is he talks to my father or my brother and says, I want to, marry him. Because to be
Oh,
honest with you, the intentions in Islam is marriage. So we can date for a little while, but the intention is to get married. So when you really see that woman that you want to be with, you want to marry her. So that is the ultimate goal. So once he goes to my father and he or my brother or whoever is in protection of me at the time, because my dad could be dead. So it could be my father that he would have to go to ask for my hand. And then after that, mediation, we put everything on the table. We talk about the finances, where I will live, what I will want
the
for my
dowry.
dowry.
The
The man
dowry.
the woman, the dowry. Yeah, so like all of those things are kind of like negotiated, before we even, keep on sitting down dating, right? And even those dating times, once we pass that stage, then we go into what do you call it? When we so we start dating a little bit, but that dating period isn't meant to be a long time. It's very short because, like I said, marriage is the goal. So, and then when we're dating, my brother's at the restaurant with me, or my dad, or my uncle,
Right. There's always
or
a chaperone.
someone who
But
the
how
imam.
long do you guys date? How long is the dating process then? Is it 2 years or is it less?
It's not going to be ever be 2 years. That's way too long. We don't do that. So I'm going to say there'll
Okay.
just be a couple of dating times because he always he already has the intention to marry me. So it'll be very short, maybe a month, two at the max. Let's give it 90 days, just to,
So is the marriage arranged? Do they pick this
keep.
out? Is the marriage arranged?
No, because like the brother could have saw me in the mosque, or he could know my cousin, or he could know me
Gotcha.
through someone and want to marry me. So then he puts his attentions to whoever, like, who's her? I want to marry her. Can you tell her I want to marry
Yeah.
her? Who's her father? He's always looking. If he's looking at me, he's looking to find out who my father is or who
Right.
my brother is, so that he can then go to the men and ask for
Right.
me, and then
Right.
that's how we set it off.
Okay, so y'all keep it very traditional. I know back in the 19th and 18th century, like you mentioned, the dowry, they had like the royalty families or the families that the name had to be of interest and this and that, and the dowry had to be of subject, and they couldn't go out for a walk in the woods or a walk in a park without a chaperone or, like you said, someone there or their maid or their whoever or their whatever. So I love it. I think things like that should still stay in place to a certain extent, but I think things like that should still stay, and then the world would be a better place. I really think so. With certain little traditions like that, I think that's a good positive thing. So as far as I'm concerned, me being widowed, and I was widowed very early in my life, and I chose not to really get serious or whatever because I had a young son in the house at the time, when his father passed away. So my goal was to not let the streets get him, educate him, so on and so forth. So now that I'm at dating again, well, I'm dating someone now that I really particularly, I'm feeling him. I'm feeling him because it takes a lot to get me to feel you because I'm set in my ways when you've been alone so many years. And I don't know if I can ever live with someone again. He can have his place, I can have my place, a lot of stuff, eh? So my thing is, with me, well, so far we've been dating for a couple of months. But if it came to the fact that we would date, I mean, sometimes they say the longer you date someone, the better you get to know them. But I'm prone to say, it can be love at first sight. It depends on you and the person, the chemistry and all of that matters. It really does. So my thing is, with the way my situation with him now, I can see us dating for the rest of our lives. But if it came to the point where he wasn't proposed to me, at the way things are going now, I would accept. I would have never thought. Somebody told me that I would be doing a whole lot of things. So I ain't gonna just say this. Today, I would be like, no, I'm not. But anyway, I would accept because he is definitely a yes, Keisha, no Keisha man. I don't want to say that he's submissive, but he's, he likes to make sure that Keisha is comfortable and I'm okay. And he's patient with me. And I understand that because at my age, what I'm going through, the things that I'm going through mentally, physically, is life, is what it is. I need somebody that can understand and not look at me like, what's wrong with you? Somebody be like, you okay, baby? Can I get your glass? Well, you understand what I'm saying? That can, deal with me with it and me. But now we're gonna go with women that are looking for marriage, that probably are not in their 50s, that they're in their 30s or their 40s or whatever, and they feel like they've been dating this gentleman for more than 2 years. He haven't proposed to them yet. What should they do? Do you think they should stay in a relationship? Just look at it on an outside point of view. Understand your things, but what do you think? You think that she should stay with him and see if he'll propose another year or two, or is she gonna be giving up the best years of her life and then he don't marry her, and she's all messed up trying to get another relationship, too late for her to have kids, and this other person is, So what do you think a woman should do if she's in her? We're gonna put some numbers in between the ages of 25 and 35. After she dates for 2 years, do you think that she should keep on dating if the gentleman is not interested in marriage, or do you think that she should leave it alone?
Personally, I feel like every woman has her own a level of what she's going to put up with. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
some women like the freedom of dating someone that long and don't want marriage either. But if you really are looking for marriage, then you should have really investigated the guy that you're dealing with to know whether or not he's going to commit. And so once you've reached that line and you see no commitment, then the woman has to be willing and strong enough to move on and don't let her emotions get in the way of the rules and the goals that she set down in the very beginning, not to accept that. But see, the problem is that women, they find themselves in distress because they set themselves up from the very beginning with not being content in the man really giving them a solid promise. You know what I mean? Because when somebody really has good intentions, the promise is there. He's going to do what he has to do. You don't have to keep on giving him ultimatums or, if you don't do it at year number 2, and that's what the dating, time is all about, to construct all those things and to make sure that, we well understand what we're doing here. Because at the end of the day, if that timeline comes and he doesn't do it, you just wasted a whole 2 years with someone.
That's true too. But I was with my husband for a couple of years, more than, I'm not gonna say a couple because a couple is 2. I'm gonna say for about maybe 5 years, almost 6, before we tied the knot, before we got married. So I guess it depends on the situation and the man also. Because while I was with him for those years before we got married, there weren't many red flags. So had there been red flags, like I know this man is not gonna marry me, you know what I'm saying? I would have took the back door. Thank God he did, because I didn't want to have any more children out of wedlock. But with that being said, so I was talking to another girlfriend of mine, and she's 55 years old. And she said she does date. and she will continue to date, and they will have their place and she'll have theirs. The only way she will get married if they were to propose for her, and she would accept the proposal if there's a good pension is in the deal. So I said, at least she was being honest. So, at least she was being honest. Like, in other words, she felt like, if I'm going to marry you and we're in our later ages and I am going to marry you, and God forbid you get sick, and this is how she's looking at it, and you get sick and I have to take care of you and so on and so forth, at least let there be something, there or what have you. Not that she's a gold digger, but she's just looking out for her best interests. And you know what I'm saying? So she's like, there's a pension. Okay, yeah, there's something beneficial in it. Other than that, I don't see why we need to get married. So I respect her point of view, and I'm not judging her or anything, but I understand where she's coming from. You have women in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, after talking to a couple of women that I see are still looking for that almighty dollar, girl. With a cane and no teeth. But my thing is, a lot of people always also say marriage is nothing but a piece of paper. A person's going to do what they want to do regardless. Some people say they were together for 10 years and then they got married and then everything went wrong. But my thing is, when you're married, like coming up young, raising your family, like you said, the first stages of your first part of your life, marriage, kids, husband, so on and so forth. I think it is important to be married, because that piece of paper legally makes sure he's okay if anything happens to you, and she's okay if anything happens to her, and the kids are okay if anything happens to each other. You understand what I'm saying? So I think in that point,
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's important to have your life insurances, your wills, and your what are those boxes in the bank, your CD, what is those boxes called, your safe deposit boxes, whatever you're going to do. I think it is important. But after, if you need like your second part of life or your second stages of life, as long as he has his insurance policy intact, you have your insurance policy intact, I'm all right. I don't have to be married again. I think it's something that, as long as you get to do once in a lifetime, if you get to do it twice and it's sincere and it's beautiful, then God bless you. That's how I feel. Would you like to be married?
Okay, so not really.
You're setting your ways?
And I think that, well, let me just say a couple of things. Number one, this is what I love about my religion, because when you come to the table with the brother, you already gonna know what he got. You understand what because he wants to be sharp in front of you to let you know he wants to be your man, right? So he's gonna put those financial credentials. So he's going to put those financial credentials on the table. You're going to know right then and there how he's going to provide and so forth. So there's I'm just piggybacking off what you said when you talked about the pension, because that's the very most important part. And you don't want to sound like a gold digger, but it's really, really real. The most important part is finances. Men are
messing with no broke nigga.
Right. And the biggest part is that women have to be maintained. Men are protectors and maintainers of women. Women are not maintainers and protectors of men. And so that is the greatest point. And it's not like I said, you want to be a gold digger, but you want to know where do we stand, because you don't want to be outside holding the bag with your bags outside because you can't even pay the rent. That's right. And so, there's nothing wrong with wanting someone with a pension or wanting someone who's established person, and vice versa. And far as me, I've been married twice. I've been married twice in my life. I have 5 children. And I feel like after 50, it's a whole different ballgame in getting married, because when you're going through menopause, your body has changed. And I'm talking about the body shape, the emotions, physical. You really have to have a phenomenal brother that really can key into those things and really love you. And it's really, really a lot. So that's why I say it's very iffy for me. But when that happens, you're going to see an angel descending from the sky, and you're going to be like, April's getting married today, because you're going to see the angel coming down from heaven. And that's what.
No, you're right about the menopause thing. So that's what I'm saying about my friend. Had my husband still been alive, he would have. My husband is deceased, so that's probably not good. But he would have been that man that would have just been right there, just going through the process with me. This gentleman now seems like he can deal, to make a long story short, but you're right about that. I think if you do have the person that goes through it with you, it's that person that you've been with for over 20 years or better. a new person, like trying to, you understand what I'm saying? It would be a little bit more, I think, challenging. I think you would feel a little bit more subconscious than he does. Sometimes we feel, sometimes it's not that serious, but we think it's that serious when the man isn't. You understand what I'm saying? Like you said, with body things and so on and so forth, or whatever the case may be. But I tell a brother in a minute, these are my love knots. I have 3 beautiful children to show for it. And I had a beautiful life. And yeah, I will bikini one day, and I could go get cut up and chopped up and pumped up and snatched out and beat up, put up and all of that for a couple of thousands of dollars, but choose not to do all of that. You know what I'm saying? But I understand exactly what you're saying. The menopausal thing is you're going through a metamorphosis is what I call it. So you basically, like I said, right now, my situation is he keep his place, I keep my place. We make our date when we get together. We have a beautiful understanding, and I like that. I'm not ready to just live with someone right now. Whether he married me, I'm not ready to live. I've been in my space and set my own ways for a lot of years. You know what I'm saying? And I get up to do this when I want to do that, and do that, comb my hair when I want. Little things when you're living with a man. You understand? So I just like the relationship the way it is. Me, personally speaking, over 50 and dating. After 2 years, we don't have to be married if it's not there. If it's not in a thing, it's not a big deal to me. But to some women over 50, it still is. To April, it isn't either. So, but I wish everybody the best of luck. If you're dating over 2 years and you haven't got what you want yet, make sure he put a ring on it, baby. Because don't let him keep saying, "Oh, just wait," or this, that, and the third. Because if you're the younger ones, life will pass you by. You'll be talking about, "Well, I want kids," and this, that, and the third. And you don't want to. You want to watch your calendar, your lifespan calendar. It makes the right.
Yeah, and when I say, for me, I wouldn't definitely date anyway. In my 50s, like I said, I'd have a strong man that would want to marry me from the door. And then in that, he's already going to offer me marriage from the door as a Muslim woman. And then it would be a short dating span for me if that were to come to me. You know what I mean? That's how I would regulate it. But
even if it's a short,
it's not something
you can't jump from this to marriage, because you still got to get to know a person. Even if it's a month or 3 weeks, you still got to get to know somebody.
Oh yes. No. I'm saying there is a stage, but I'm not. We're not into 2-3 years later type of thing. That just doesn't happen.
I procrastinate. Thank you.
Right. You don't procrastinate because the problem is that with that is that there's sexual urges and desires. When you start seeing the man and the woman, you guys want each other. So Allah wants you to be married before you partake in illegal sexual acts. So therefore, that's why the thing is like, let's get this done. I want to marry you. You know what I mean? Yeah. Not that I want to date you, take all your away for 2-3 years and then don't do nothing with you.
Right, but it's all about security, and you know what he got and the dowry and so y'all get married, y'all date quickly, briefly, y'all get married, y'all do the thing because, like you said, nature calls, and he got about 4 inches down there, or God forbid he has a sexual problem. He's not going to say,
my virgin is kids. My virgin is.
But what do a woman do after that? I mean, what if you stuck in a mat? That's why.
I mean, there's divorce in Islam. There's divorce in Islam.
Okay.
Right.
There's a way out. I'm just asking. There's a way out. Okay.
And if a man was
sexually satisfying, he might be selfish and bad. Like it's a lot more. I'm just saying.
We have. Yeah, we have divorce here. And there's rules and regulations around divorce as well. But when you divorce someone Islamically, you have to be on grounds. You know what I mean? And if if a woman's real issue is that this man's never going to satisfy me, then I'm not going to be able to be a good wife to him. And you guys have to mediate that before an imam or somebody.
I don't care. Sex is a big part of a relationship. As long as you're married, you know what I'm saying? It's still a big communication, sex, security. Those are like the 3 major things. And if a woman is not satisfied, I mean, hey, that's why when you have to I don't know about testing the waters or whatever. Let me see.
Oh, my virgin. But
Well,
At
you
the
had a
end of the
rude
day,
awakening today, baby.
you know, usually, God has a way of working things out for the greater good, and
Yeah, until
I
though.
I can't as a Muslim woman, say what you're saying, but I just thank God that none of those were the issues that I had with, divorce, when I did divorce,
Thank goodness.
you know,
All right,
um,
everybody. On that note, if you're dating, have fun with it. If you're dating over 2 years and you're looking for marriage, then make sure he put a ring on. If you're dating and you're not looking for marriage, just want to have fun and soak your raw oats and do what you're doing, or dating to find the right one to marry, then so be it. But that's it for Let's Talk About It today. So on that note, where we keep it real, see you guys next time. Love y'all. April.
bye. Love you guys more. See you soon.
Yes.
Okay. Did you stop it?
I'm trying to see now. Wait a minute. I got to put my glasses on. Uh-oh, I can't find them. Let me see. I hope this is the right one. Wait a minute. I got to find my glasses. Give me 2 seconds. Okay, let me see. Let's see, Keisha B. This is pause. This is stop.